iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz.
Oh my God. From out the gate, it has been unlike anything I have ever done. From the rehearsal process to putting it together so quickly. I mean, 8 rehearsals and then just doing it has been, usually you get 4 to 6 weeks to work on a show. So it has really been fast and furious doing this. And then to step into this part and in the first 2 weeks, all of my friends and family coming and people that have supported me through TikTok coming. And honestly, it's been very special for me to step into this at this point in my life, at this age. Like, it just feels very right. Yeah, honestly, I was in Back to the Future on Broadway while I was, the past couple months, and I'd received a phone call to come in to audition for A Beautiful Noise. And I thought, okay, I mean, I've heard of this show, and I obviously knew Robin Herder from Moulin Rouge. But I went into my first singing call for it. I went into a dancing call for it. And I left kind of being like, well, I guess I'm in Back to the Future, so I really don't think this is going to be it. But I'm glad that they saw me for it. And a couple days later, I had a final call back in front of the whole team, went in. It was so special and scary. It was just like me and another girl in there, and it was very, very scary. But it happened, and then a couple days later, I found out that I got it. And it was really kind of wild from there. Because I was doing Back to the Future, we didn't know if I could actually get out to do the part. So there was a lot that went into it behind the scenes to see if I could even actually step in to do this part. And at the end of the day, we made it work. It was all of the parts falling into the pieces at the right time. It was a situation where everything came together at the right time in the right space and just felt like truly this is what I'm meant to be doing. So that happened, and then I started my first rehearsal. We figured it out that I could be doing the Back to the Future shows at night while also rehearsing Beautiful Noise. So I'd rehearse a Beautiful Noise during the day, I'd go do Back to the Future at night, and then 8 rehearsals later, we just went right into it. So it has been a journey to get there, but it's been amazing. You know what? There wasn't actually a lot of information online about my show, which has been crazy to, this woman that existed in real time. All I want to do is know more about her, and I can't really, there's not a lot of information. So I did with what I could in creating the part and the material that I was given. And of course, speaking to directors and people that have been around Neil and have heard these experiences. So coming at it from that angle. Preparing for it physically with my body has been a whole other challenge. Really making sure I'm healthy and able to do this part, building the stamina for this show has been crazy. Forever in Blue Jeans, since it is such a big number, one of the first rehearsals, I said, let's start immediately on this number so we can start building our stamina now. So taking care of myself, making sure I'm getting the 8 hours, making sure I'm doing everything I can so that I can be 100% in these shows every night. It is a full body experience. Yeah, my grandpa, who he had recently passed, but grew up with his music, obviously, and that was kind of my first introduction into Neil Diamond was through him. And funny enough, before he passed away, I was in the audition process for this show, and he was actually the only one that was very, I don't know, he gave me the advice, Amber, do not let this dream slip away from you. You have to be doing this show. This is special to you, and you do everything you can to make it work. So having that connection with him through that, and then having the connection of him being, my biggest cheerleader of, you will need to do this part, it just feels full circle in that way. So learning about Neil Diamond through him and now doing it, it's just been special, I guess. It's so true. Like stepping into the Hamilton world, the fan base was just already there and so vibrant and amazing, and passionate. And then the Funny Girl fandom was like another level of people. And then the Back to the Future fandom was like a nostalgic group. In the Beautiful Noise fandom, I have never seen so many women feral over Neil Diamond. Like, I told Nick, like, the first time I went to go watch the show, he was performing on stage. I was sat in the audience, and these women were throwing themselves at the stage. I was pretty certain they were, like, going to grab him off the stage at one point. Like, they think he's Neil Diamond at this point. So I'm like, I've seen some crazy, passionate fans, but the Neil Diamond at Beautiful Noise fandom is like nothing I have ever seen. These women, they love him. They love him a lot. And it's crazy. It's kind of funny to see, like, when Marcia comes out and they have that first moment of, like, kissing, the gasps I have heard from the audience, it is, like, always, like, a very, they're in it. They're into it, and they are in it, and they're following the journey with the show. I started TikTok during the pandemic as a way just to kind of like commemorate Broadway. We were just remembering what it was because it didn't exist. And it was really sad that like this entire community just felt like it disappeared. And I started posting videos because I saw that people were still so excited and wanting Broadway to come back. So when it did finally come back, these people that have supported me through this time where I was unemployed, where I was living in my parents' basement, where I was, just a kid making videos, hoping to be on Broadway again, for it to come back so full swing, now it's like all these people that have supported me, we have been on this journey together of like going show to show, and it has been so amazing to see that like we're all on Broadway together, like introducing these people to my new casts, like seeing people excited to buy tickets, making Broadway accessible for people, showing them like what it is like backstage. It feels like a huge responsibility and a huge honor that I get to share this part of the industry with so many people. So yeah, it's exciting. Guys, okay, wow, we're really going straight into it. Okay, so when I was in Back to the Future, the Jets team came to see Back to the Future. They came and supported it, and we became great friends with them. They came backstage. We got to learn about, football. They invited us to their first football game, and I got to like go to. I would have never have gone to a football game before, so honestly, it was like quite an experience. And they have just been so supportive of Broadway and the community and the shows and the people. So like, they were having a great time. It's great. They love Broadway. Yeah, I love it because honestly, all of those boys that like came and saw, like they saw MJ and Back to the Future and a couple others, like they had the time of their lives, and to see that, like, I love it. Get football on Broadway. More football. I would say, honestly, my costumes in Moulin Rouge were hands down, like, top tier best costumes. The beading work, those, like, that green fairy sateen outfit, the corsets, everything was just really beautiful about that show. So I'd say those are my favorite costumes. My most comfortable costumes, I did this like wrestling show called The Last Match, and I just got to wear like a leotard and like a jacket on stage, and it was like the best. Because every other show I've been in has been corsets. Hamilton was corsets, Head Over Heels was corsets. But yeah, honestly, Last Match was like my favorite as well. I have been wanting to do a solo concert for years now, and honestly, it now feels like the time to go and do it. So, where should we do it at? We're like here. Ah! Oh my God, a first solo concert at iHeartRadio Broadway. Okay, let's do it. Okay, great. Great, stay tuned. iHeartRadio. Let's go. Yeah, honestly, my audition song that has booked me a good majority of shows is the Sia song called I'm Alive. Yeah, most shows I go in for are like pop contemporary shows. Although with Funny Girl, I think I sang a song from Anything Goes. But yeah, this Sia song, Sia has been my saving grace in booking shows on Broadway.
iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz.